Hi, I'm Phil D'Agostino, and this is Naked Thinking. Has anyone ever should on you? I didn't say that. I said should. Should on you. Has anyone ever should on you? See? You know what I mean? You know what? This is what I mean. Like somebody comes up to you, you're doing something, or you're going through something, and they say, you know what you should do? Has anyone ever said that to you? When that happens, let me ask you the question. When that happens to you, is the very first thing that goes through your mind, oh, gee whiz, no, please tell me, I'm dying to find out. Has that ever gone through your head? Or is it more like, you can't even live your own life. I'll be daggone, we'll say daggone. I'll be daggone if you're going to live mine, run mine. You've heard people do that. And they say, you know what you should do? You know what you got to do? You know what you ought to do? And these people are shooting all over you, and it gets kind of annoying sometimes. But then again, sometimes they will ask you, so what are you going to do? And you go, gee, I don't even know what I should do. Well, some people ask me, and they say, what should I do? And I'll tell them that I don't tell people what they should do. But I can tell you some things that'll help you decide and know. And can you know always what you should do? Yes, I think you can always know what you should do in any given situation where your decision making has to do with you. Now, sometimes there are things out there about what can or can't happen and what should or shouldn't be done. That's very objective and out there. We're not talking about that. We're talking about me. We're talking about you. That is to say, in my life, there are things that I have decisions and choices to make. And so these things come to me, and it's like, well, should I do this or should I do that? Or should I do this, or that? I mean, sometimes there are a lot of different things you might do. But to know exactly what you should do, that's not as hard as you think that it is. Sometimes the elements necessary to bring you to that might be a little bit evasive or elusive, and you have to go find them. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But one of the first things I want to do is I want to get the full understanding of should. And should does not mean anything to do with right or wrong. This happens to be about what your actions are as it relates to what kind of actions you, quote, should take in order to get some kind of a result, okay? Like, for example, I'll just give you one small example here. So I was offered an opportunity to take a job and live in a particular city. We'll just say New York City, okay? I'm from New York City. And I left it for a reason, and there it is. Here I am. And somebody says, "So do you want to take the job?" And you go, "I don't know." And they go, "Well, they want you to make a decision." And so now you're thinking, "I don't know what I should do. Should I stay here, or should I move there?" You see what I mean? Now this is the should. Now there is a whole list of similar kinds of words and thoughts that bring us to the same kind of juncture, and I call it the to family. That is TO2, not TOO2, or TWO2, or TUE2, as in Tuesday. And we're not talking about that. We're talking about TO2. And that family of twos comes out to be got to, ought to, have to, need to, and then you have, that's the family, the immediate family. Then you have aunt must, and then you have the old drunken bum over there that's you don't even want to remember as part of your, and that is should. So you have the old should. This is what you should do. So okay, that's all related words to the same kind of concept. Ellie, could you go ahead and put that list up there for them so they can, if you want to take notes. I'm not going to stop. You just put it on pause and take notes. If you don't have anything to write with, put it on pause and go get something to write with. So now what we have is the to family here. Got to, have to, ought to, need to. I didn't even say that. You see something there though. Need to, must, and should. So you look at these and you ask yourself, what does that have to do? How do I get from there to knowing what I should do in order to get to something else. Well, I'm going to introduce a concept. I call it the UT clause. UT. U-T. The UT clause. Get ready to put that up. Just wait, hang on a second. We'll put it up in a second. And let me explain what a UT clause is. In Latin, there is a word, UT, UT, which means in order to do something. In North Carolina, there's a motto. It's praesus ut proces. There it is. It's in Latin. And praesus ut proces means press forward ut in order that you might lead. And that's what that is. So it's like, so an ut clause, you can go ahead and put that up now, please. Thank you. All right. So as you can see here, and you can read it through, but an ut clause brings up kind of a conditional. For example, let's say ut, praesus ut proces. Press forward in order that. See, that's an if that. If you want to lead, then you need to press on or press forward. So here, again, with the ut clause, we're looking at in order to X, something needs to happen. I'll give you an example. We want to make sure we understand the should thing, okay? Let's take this mouse, okay? And let's pretend that it's a 10-pound rock. And the question comes up, on stage, I would ask somebody, should I throw this at the camera? And they'll go, no! And I go, oh, okay. Should I throw this at Ellie? Don't worry, I'm not going to do that. How about at the window? Oh, should I throw this at the window? And people will go, I say, how many people in the room say, yes, I should throw it at the window? Very few, no hands go up most of the time. And they'll say, how many think I should not throw it at the window? Don't forget, a not is still a thing. So it's like, I should do or I should not do. How many people think I should not? And I'll ask somebody, I say, why? And they'll say, well, because you could break the window. Mm-hmm. So what if I want to break the window? What if, for example, there's a fire going on and there's no way out except through that window. So I'm going to take my 10-pound rock and I'm going to throw it through the window to break it open so we can escape. Should I throw it through the window now? And the answer is, oh yeah, do it. So, okay. You see how that works? Now, what we're getting to is that in order to break that window, I need to, got to, have to, and therefore should throw the rock through the window to break it. See how that works? If I have to be on an airplane 3 hours from now, I should get in my car and start thinking about getting over to the airport. See how that works? Now, if I were to say to somebody, should I get in my car and go to the airport? And they would look at me and go, I don't know. So, okay, help me know whether I should or not. So we switch roles and they become a consultant. And they go, okay, Phil, let's say you got in a car and went over to the airport. What would you do there? What would be your purpose? What is your ut clause? Is that in order for me to be on an airplane in 3 hours, then I should get into a car and start over there because you have all this stuff you got to do before you can get on an airplane. Okay? So if somebody said, so what's your ut clause? And I said, well, in order to what? That's why I'm asking you. In order to what? I don't know. I mean, I don't have any reason to go over there. So if you don't have a reason to go over there, if there is no therefore or ut, therefore meaning, in order for me to gain something from going, then I don't really have a reason to. Therefore, I can say I should not go, especially if I have a reason to stay. Because sometimes what we have now is we have competing uts. I'll give you an example. I'm going to get real extreme here, okay? Let's say somebody is in a terrible situation and a doctor comes in and says, I'm afraid you have gangrene or MRSA or something that's going on with your leg, and we either have to cut off your leg all the way up or you're going to have sepsis and wind up dying. So what should I do? Well, if you're like me, I want to live. In order to live, I should cut off my leg. See, I want to live. So in order for me to have knowledge of my what should I do, I go back to say, well, what's my ut clause? They say, well, do I want to have a leg? Yes. Do I want to live? Yes. But they are mutually exclusive according to what I was just told. So now I have a decision to make and a choice to make. And so what should I do? Well, what is it that you want as an outcome? In order to what? What's more important, to die with a leg or to live without one? In order to live, to be a lot older than I am, I should have them remove the leg. You see how that works? Now, you can do that with everything, with anything, and you can always come back. You can take this down, by the way. Yeah, thank you. You can always come back to the question, what's your ut clause? Remember, got to, ought to, have to, need to, must. If I am going to be on an airplane in 3 hours, I must get from where I am to that airplane. Therefore, I must do what is required in order for that to happen. And if I want that to happen, then I should do whatever it is required to make it happen. See how that works? If you take some time to just go through and ask yourself, well, wait a minute, instead of jumping, remember, this is naked thinking. It is very easy when something like this happens, with the leg, for example, something like this happens. It's very easy to be on the magic carpet ride of the emotion of the moment and be in a completely different frame of mind from a cool-headed, logical, decision-making process mind so that I can actually live with the outcome. And by live with, I mean be okay with it, having that decision play itself out. So when you think about it, if you can apply that to anything of importance in your life, you will always be able to figure out what you should do. Hi, it's me, Phil, again. I want to thank you for stopping by for this episode of the Naked Thinking Podcast. But before you go, if you like what you saw and you want to see more of it, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button, and then pass it around to everybody you know, and even everybody you don't know, which would be everybody. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time.